Welcome to 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews, where we take random movies from Metacritic's 15K Plus movies to randomly watch, whether we like it or not. Hello and welcome to episode 32 of 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews. This is Colin.
And this is Niall.
And this is The Big Lebowski from 1998. It's not, well, I'm sure it is on Metacritic's all-time movie list somewhere. I don't know what number it is. But this was chosen from our listener Rob in Singapore, his top 10. Sadly, we didn't get a movie that we haven't seen before, but going back to The Big Lebowski is obviously always good. I think it was number 3 on his list.
I don't think this is sadly here at all. This is
No.
a movie that I take no pain in watching several times over.
Yeah, and it gets better every time you watch it as well.
It really bloody does. And a movie like this that is dear to me, I haven't seen it in 10 years, maybe, but I always fear watching something I haven't seen in a while, and maybe it's age, and maybe something bad that I didn't notice before. Not this movie. Oh, no. It's just gold.
Yeah,
the whole way through.
Yeah, you just notice more subtler things as every time you watch it. Just to note, it's got a Metascore of 71, which is weird, and a user score of 8.5, which is obviously higher, so normal humans are better than critics again. It runs for 117 minutes. It had a budget of 15 million and made 46.7 million in the box office. Obviously, it's a Coen Brothers movie. This is our second one in our saga through the world of randomness. Obviously, we saw The Lady Killers back in episode 20 something. And yeah, you look at this and you compare it to The Lady Killers. I think the Coen Brothers need to stick with their own writing.
Yes, absolutely. There is a gulf of, I'm not going to say incompetence in between these two, but the other one's a competent movie, and that's the best I can say about it. This is just perfection. Like the tone, it just nails it. The casting is amazing.
Yeah.
Production, sound. Oh, my sweet giddy aunt.
So, to nutshell, it is quite hard to. Well, it's not hard to do, but I think the entire podcast probably will be not as good as what the movie is. We're this is probably the highest rated movie we're going to do if the randomness gods aren't happy with us. We read up about it, and it's obviously loosely based around a noir movie, The Big Sleep, and there's but with more drugs and stoner behavior.
Instead of a private dick who is not really interested in taking a case, it's a stoner who's not really interested in taking a case.
Yeah. So basically, in a nutshell, you've got the dude, and he is a victim of mistaken identity, to put it generally, and it brings them along in a twisted saga of more sort of twists and turns of people wanting him hurt and people wanting him to do stuff, and
him never really understanding why any of that was happening.
No, and he's got two hapless friends as well who are there along for the ride. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? So I think, to nutshell it is to just say that, basically.
Yeah.
The start of this movie is the start of Sam Elliott's drawl of a narrator. The narrator, let's put it.
The stranger, as he's referred to in the casting.
Oh, right. And so he talks over the intro and introduces the dude. The dude. And
again, perfect casting. That voice just really sets it. Like, it makes no sense in the context of the movie, but I don't think that really bloody matters.
No.
He's basically a character of a cowboy.
Yeah.
And he's talking about the dude, and he doesn't really say anything about the dude. And he speaks for 3 minutes, but it's just so nice.
Yeah, but he stumbles over himself near the end. He's like, sometimes there's a man. Sometimes
the dude is the man, and
and then he goes, "Duh."
Shut up! Just watch the movie.
Yeah. And so there's a tumbleweed going around, and I was trying to think, what does this tumbleweed symbolize? I don't like to infer symbolism. There's a lot of videos out there talking about the philosophy and the secret agenda of the Big Lebowski. I think in essence it's a deep movie, but not philosophically deep. I don't
I don't
adhere to that.
know. My take on the tumbleweed is it reflects the character of the dude who just he goes where the wind blows. You know, he doesn't really resist all that hard, and he doesn't really panic. He just I'm the
He just
dude. It's
goes,
just
yeah.
I abide.
The dude abides. Which is interesting, and I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I just want to mention something about those phrases he says.
Mm.
So obviously, we see him when he comes into frame, right of shot into the aisle to get his milk for the Caucasian.
Yes, otherwise known as a White Russian, I think.
Yes,
Looks
yes.
terrible, but
I've never drank one. Have you?
oh, it's awful. Any cocktail with milk in it is just a bad idea. So
I want to try it
in this
though.
case.
I want to try it because
I've tried
Kahlua.
it. It's manky.
Yeah, but when did you try it? In your teenage years?
God, about 15
Last
years.
night.
Last night. I'm having one right now. It's terrible, but I keep drinking it. It's stuck in your beard.
Yeah, just a little white frosting on the upper lip beard part. Actually, I wanted to just to say about Sam Elliott's drawl, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That's just, and it comes later on when they mention a phrase at the bar, and it's confusing at first, but when you think about a southern drawl, then it sort of makes sense.
But yeah, I love how the dude doesn't pick up on it and just runs with
it. Yeah, because actually when I heard it first, it's like, yeah, sometimes the bar does eat you. Especially when you flop your head down on it after a couple of Caucasians. It's going to be very hard for me not to mention every single scene because he gets to the counter, he gets to the register, and the lady is just looking at him and he's making a check for 67 cents or whatever.
Post dated from a year.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is wonderful. And that I figured out by the fact that I think there's a certain president giving out about Iraq in the background, and the date that he signs in the check is a year later after the war in Iraq began.
Right. And President Bush is there going, "This will not stand."
Yeah,
which will not stand.
Which he runs with as well several times later in the movie.
Yeah, and that's a theme. Like it's you don't want to think of the dude being a dumbass, but he's fed a lot of phrases during the movie that he just takes as his own. Then, so it's just something that I don't want it to be like a. It's a kind of a negative. He's a stoner waster. That doesn't have an original idea himself because and I don't want to make it sound like I hate him. I love the guy. I love the character.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Yeah,
and the call him an idiot would be the service because he figures things out later on in what is quite complex. The situation that's happening around him, he cops it, which is impressive, especially when you're out of your bin.
Yeah, because he's staring. I think he's sitting at the bar later when he actually figures it out. He's like, "God damn." Or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think when he's talking to the daughter of the other Lebowski, he puts two and two together.
Yeah. So he makes his way back to his home, and obviously, this movie's kind of surprises with every scene. And so he gets at home, and he sort of just looks around and just gets ran into the
by
toilet.
Treehorn's minions.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, he spills his White Russian into the toilet, which is
it's so good though. The milk just splatters everywhere, and it's just a milky mess. And you see it later when he's kind of lying on the floor, like the water in the toilet is just a milky grey. It's just.
Oh, what I love about the scene is he's the dude. Some guy is basically just trying to kill him, and he's like, "Dude." No panic, no freaking out. He's like, "Oh, well, why don't we ask the toilet again?"
Yeah, and then he's like, they mentioned Bunny, and they go, "Where's the money, Lebowski?" And he's going, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Money?
Yeah, and then he's like, as Walter says later, the Chinaman pisses on the carpet.
You can't say that.
That's not the preferred nomenclature.
Oh, John Goodman.
Oh my god! And I loved when the guy took the bowling ball out and he goes, "What's this?" And he goes, "You're obviously not a golfer."
Like
uh,
it just starts so strong and continues.
yeah, and then it goes straight in then to the bowling intro and the Man in Me by Bob Dylan. Back to our trend of having
Yay!
Dylan. Yay! Took us 30 more episodes to get back to a Bob Dylan reference. And so the
Yeah,
Man in Me is a great song that just introduces the sort of languidness of a bowling alley. You know, there's poetry in motion, and there's I don't know, there's just sort of it's a brilliant scene setting.
it is. It kind of the bowling alley is kind of defining the human condition, where there is beauty, but there's also mundane misery as well mixed in, and it's such a nice thing, you know. You have the beauty of perfect shots being hit, and you've Donny banging down pins beautifully, and then misery and mundane conversation and shut up, Donny.
Starts. I just love Donnie's cute face when he bowls a strike. He just smiles, and it's interesting near the end when he bowls his final bowl of the movie.
Oh
He
yeah,
totters. It totters.
it's a foreshadowing because he doesn't get them all down.
Yeah, and then he kind of just goes back, and he's not happy, and he kind of like shakes his hand in his second final scene of the movie. But we'll get there. Jesus, I hope we get there. This is going to take forever.
Take a while.
Okay, so they have this circle discussion, and the dude is obviously told his story about the car. But I just love that they just constantly repeat, "Tied the room together."
It really ties the room together.
Really ties
I
the room.
know, I know.
Am I wrong?
And I love that, you know, he's telling Walter to shut up and that doesn't matter. And then he's like, but yeah, it does really tie the room together.
Yeah, yeah.
And how Walter convincing him with that phrase to do something about it.
And then they get just like friends, like they go, "What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about?" And then they have this, you know, the dude is saying the Chinaman pissed on the carpet, and then Walter's like going, "I don't think that's the preferred nomenclature. I think it's Asian American."
In the
And
next
then,
sentence, he goes on about, and that Chinaman pissed on your carpet.
yeah, he just totally, yeah.
Uh,
So he gets to the point where he's going, "I'm just going to go to the Big Lebowski and get money for my carpet, man. It really tied the room together." I just love the next scene with Philip Seymour Hoffman as they go along the
I
different.
forgot he was in it.
Yeah, he's so good.
He's Smithers.
He is Smithers.
He's the live action Smithers. He's perfect.
Oh my god, there's so many things in this little walk along the frames of things, of memorabilia of the Big Lebowski.
Mm.
It's just he sees a photo of him in the photo with Nancy Reagan, and his exact phrasing is, "Oh, he's handicapped," and Philip Seymour Hoffman goes, "Oh, he's what did he say? He's disabled. He's disabled." And then he goes to the picture of all the charity children, and he goes, "They're Mr. Lebowski's children."
You know, problem with race then, huh?
Yeah, he's got, "Oh, different mothers. Huh? Oh, no. They're not really his children." And then he's touching the thing, and he's just going, please don't touch that. And he touches it like 2 other times. And you can see Philip Seymour Hoffman's face just reacting.
He wants to do something, but he can't because he's too polite.
Yeah. I love the way it ends off where he's just looking in the mirror with the Time magazine. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, are you the Lebowski of the year or something? He definitely isn't, basically. No. He is of the movie, but he's not of the...
He'll always be our Lebowski of the year.
Yeah, he will be. He meets Mr. Lebowski. He wheels in at 80 miles per hour in his wheelchair. And he just basically hates bums. He just, bums will always lose. And
yeah, he takes major exception to the dude asking for his carpet replaced because of a misunderstanding or a misidentification of the Lebowski. He is the wrong Lebowski, but the other Lebowski's an a-hole.
Yeah, and it does, yeah. So it's a very good scene, and it's just a coming together of the Lebowskis, and they couldn't be further apart in the world. One's a bum, and one's a sort of a bum as well, because he's kind of bankrupt, and he looks like he's in.
He's giving to perception that he's not an absolute useless feck, but he is. Whereas our Lebowski doesn't hide the fact.
Yeah, there was a in the script I read, there was a sort of a backstory that he was an heir to the inventor of the Rubik's cube, and that's why he had enough money to have a rent in his apartment and have a car. Because there's no real explanation of how he survives and buys all the alcohol for his White Russians.
He did mention something about a job later on in the movie to Maud.
Oh, he did.
A
Oh,
music
yeah.
career.
Yes,
but it's
yeah.
never really got into in any detail, so I don't know if that means anything.
Yeah,
Or that's just BS.
The roadie for Metallica.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously he says, "Get out, you bum," or whatever. So
You'll never win.
Yeah. And then he goes to Hoffman. Yeah, he told me to take any rug in the house.
Which is beautiful. And as they're going out, he walks past a young Tara Reid, which I was like, wait a second. That's the girl from Sharknado.
American Pie. Yeah.
American Pie, yeah. Yeah, and then in the pool beneath is a certain Peter Stormer? The nihilist.
The nihilist.
And a nice little snooze in the pool.
Yeah.
He turns up later.
Yeah, and so I think one of Seymour Hoffman has another massive reaction here when Bunny proposes something for money to the dude, and he goes, "Oh,
you offer $1,000?" And yes, Philip's like, "Isn't she just a cad?"
Oh, we love her. Anyway, let's get you out of here. So we go back to the bowling alley for another massive scene with Walter coming in with a little dog, and Smokey, poor Smokey. I know it's his name, right? That the guy.
Smokey's the character's name. Yeah.
He's like, "Stepped over the line, Smokey. Markers have a 0."
Yeah, things get out of hand here for poor Smokey.
That's the big memeable.
I didn't go across the line, Walter.
And if you actually stop it, he doesn't. He doesn't actually cross the line. Walter's a fucking mentalist.
He is not exactly the most tempered of characters.
Yeah, so he takes out his gun, and I love the way that he's pointing the gun at Smokey, and then the dude is giving him the marker, and Smokey can't reach out to it. If you look, and he guides his hand to reach the marker because Smokey's looking at the gun. It's just a little thing I recognize happens, and obviously he said, "Am I wrong?" "No, you're just an asshole."
That's a kind of a theme though with Walter. He's sometimes right, but quite often he's just an asshole in his approach.
Yeah. So he goes back to the goes back to his house in the meantime, and there's a lot of answer machine messages, obviously. God, what is Philip Seymour Hoffman's character's name? I can't even remember now.
I can't get past.
I'm just going to call him
Name Smithers.
I'm going to call him Hoffman. Anyway, there's messages going, we need you. We want you to come back. And it's like just one scene that pops up as his landlord comes up looking for the money. He goes, "I'm doing a recital of my dance thing." He's such a weird character, Coen-esque character.
He's almost like a Napoleon Dynamite type character.
Yeah, he is actually.
Especially when the dance scene happens.
That is the Napoleon Dynamite through and through there. Yeah.
Completely, yeah.
So he goes to the Big Lebowski's mansion, and there's the fireside scene, obviously, and he's like,
terrible news.
Yeah. So he's like, "Yeah, I'll give you 10 grand or whatever if you do a bit of
and he gives him the courier job to carry the money to the. I don't know if we mentioned it. We haven't said the word kidnappers yet, but somebody's kidnapped Bonnie. So he's going to get 20 grand. Sorry, Bunny, yeah. And 20 grand to carry the cash, deliver it.
Yeah.
He's like, "Okay, but why me?" And well, you might be able to identify the carpet pissers. Just yeah, it's fair enough.
Yeah. And so we get that. And the next scene is obviously another bowling scene where we introduce Jesus or Jesus, played by
Purple
John
Jesus,
Turturro. Yeah, sex
so good,
offender.
so good. 8-year-olds, 8-year-olds.
Yeah, 8-year-olds, dude. But for one scene that he's in, or there's two scenes that he's in, he made it his own. Actually, I read today that John Turturro was the guy who said, I'll make my own." He brought the hairnet, he brought the purple
Did
outfit.
he?
He did, yeah. He made it his own. Which,
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
it was good.
I imagine that just came out of his wardrobe.
Yeah,
Similar,
yeah,
actually. While we're at the wardrobe stuff, Jeff Bridges, you know where he got all the clothes.
yeah. His wardrobe.
Which I only found that out today, and it is the most beautiful fact I've ever heard. He's like,
Well,
okay, I'll just turn up in my normal clothes.
Well, yeah, sort of like it even goes deeper than that because he wears at one point the Japanese baseball T-shirt
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
wears a lot. He actually wore that in the Fisher King and Cold Feet, and it's a T-shirt
Oh,
of
I
a
missed that.
yeah, it's a
Wow.
T-shirt of a Japanese baseball player called Kaoru Beto, and he played for the Osaka Tigers, and I actually have seen the Osaka Tigers play. Just a little
Get the funk out of
yeah,
town.
and he actually had a career average of 302, which actually is quite good. So yeah.
Yeah, I would not know.
Yeah. So that's just a nice little, yeah, that goes to prove that that T-shirt and all the outfits are Jeff Bridges.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So John Turturro, I don't know if you knew this, but the Coen Brothers gave him the green light. Whenever you want to make a movie of Jesus, go ahead and do it. And in 2020, he did. He released a movie called The Jesus Rolls in 2020, and it was widely panned.
Oh, really?
I watched the trailer for it today, and it was just what the
Who
hell?
directed?
He did. He wrote it and directed it. John
Oh, okay.
Turturro.
Okay. As long
Yeah.
as it wasn't another Coen Brothers disaster.
No, like Christopher Walken is in it, and
Bloody
Susan
hell.
Sarandon. Got a bunch of people in it, but the trailer is terrible. Even the trailer is terrible because you don't have that juicy, rich dialogue that he has. That they totally hams up in the scenes that he has, and he has lots of long dialogues in the trailer. It's like that's not how Jesus sounded in the Big Lebowski. Anyway, yeah, his introduction is
I don't
great,
know.
and
I think maybe having too much of that one character might be too much in the movie, in my way.
yeah, yeah,
I think a little splash in there, fantastic. It's like a sprinkling of Jesus. Uh, love it, absolutely love it. And the way he's dressed and how just wrong everything about him is beautiful.
yeah,
And the fact that the Gypsy Kings are playing as he's
yeah.
rubbing his ball is just a beautiful thing.
8-year-olds, dude.
8-year-olds.
um, in between all of this, they're having this conversation about he's got a beeper now, and Walter brings up Leninism, and Donnie's just going, "I'm the walrus. I'm the walrus."
Another of my favorite seasons. It's just
Oh my god!
Donnie just picking up every now and then he hits a word and he sticks to it, and
Yeah,
beautiful.
poor Wani, poor Donnie.
Donnie.
I love the fact in the next scene that he's on the floor of his apartment listening to his Walkman to bowling sounds of a tournament or something. It's just
Psyching himself up for the tournament, man.
yeah, and you can see it. You can see it. You can hear just the clanking of
And
the
every time he
pins.
hears a clank, his lips just go up at the side a little bit. He's like, oh, that's nice.
And it's interesting as well that you never see him bowl in the movie, but I think that reflects just his
Not
stoner.
entirely true. There's one piece where he's teaching a young Maud to
Well, yeah,
as she's dressed as a Valkyrie.
in a dream sequence, it wasn't can't.
And one of my favorite dream sequences in any movie of all time, with an amazing song choice.
Well, that's this dream montage, right? When he's
Oh no, I think this montage is
Which
a
one was
shorter
this?
one. The one where he's teaching Maud to bowl is the Johnny Treehorn drugging him one.
Oh right, yeah. This one's just him flying through the sky, right?
Yeah,
with a
she
bowling
snots
ball.
him one. Maud
Yeah.
snots him one. He just opened his eyes for about a quarter of a second. He gets slapped or decked. This is a very short little flying carpet trip with a little bit of bowling that drags him down into the ground.
Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, she took the carpet bag Maud, who is the Big Lebowski's daughter, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The,
Just
the,
I
the
couldn't remember
so-called
for a
Rich
second.
Lebowski, but
Yeah.
then he's
So
not
he
rich
wakes
anymore.
up and goes, "Oh man."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah,
like
that was.
this handoff happens. The bag man drop off, and Walter goes, "Listen, you've got a bag full of my underpants or whatever, my tidy
And he wasn't
whities."
supposed to bring anybody, which is the first problem. But Walter drags himself along.
Yes, Walter is an idiot and
Oh,
just a maniac. So he's like going, "Let's keep the million, and then we'll just chuck this bag out, and it's full of my underwear."
he brings a bag and a strangely wrapped package,
Yeah, of a
which is
Uzi.
yeah, an Uzi, which is a fantastic idea.
Yeah, so they get to the bridge, they throw it off. While Walter throws it off, then he jumps out of the car. The Uzi goes off, fucks up the car tires, and the dude crashes
Yeah,
into
and
a tree, and
the kidnappers leg it
the
because
kidnappers
somebody
leg it.
started shooting an Uzi. I would
Yeah,
leg it too.
and then it's like after all that, Walter goes, "Let's go bowling." Yeah,
Dude, you just killed her. Yeah, let's go bowling.
yeah,
It's not really a kidnapping anyway.
yeah. So then they're
He's
all
right.
like, yeah. So they're all like sort of going. Um, they're at the bowling alley. Then like they're going to kill the woman.
He's like, no, man, I'm not going to kill her. These guys are amateurs.
Amateurs.
She probably
Amateurs.
kidnapped herself.
Yeah. Amateurs, man. So it's the first time we hear Walter going, I don't do anything on Saturday, it's Shabbat.
I fucking love
You're not
that.
even a Jew, man.
He starts really worked up about it as well. He just keeps saying it over.
I read I read a theory today that he isn't anything that he says he is. He was never a Nam. He's not a Jew, and he's just mental, basically.
Well, the Lebowski kind of confirms that he married a Jewish lady, which kind of makes him Jewish. You know, he converted.
Mm.
So that might be true-ish. But yeah, Nam, I'm not so sure he was in Nam.
No, he certainly likes to bring it up now
Although
and
he does
again.
F up some nihilists near the end.
Yeah, yeah, he's pretty good. Well, but he only uses a bowling ball, and he's good at bowling, obviously. So he just cracks him in the chest, in the sternum.
Flea gets one right in the sternum, all right.
Yeah. They come out of the bowling alley, and the car's gone. So he does a police report, and he's there on the phone or something. Yeah, rust colorization. There's
Yeah,
a
I got
rug.
some business documents in my briefcase.
Yeah. Oh, he's not on the
What?
phone. They're actually the cops are in his
The house,
apartment.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
He's
like, yeah,
like,
business documents. And the cop's like, oh, so what do you work at? Business. I'm unemployed. Business documents.
they also stole my rug, and then Maud calls and goes, "Yeah, I got. Sorry about your rug." And then the
Oh,
cop
that's
is
right.
going, "Oh, you got the
Nice.
rug
That's
back."
half job done already.
Yeah, yeah. Those are sort of like a little kind of callback to the Fargo type policemen. They're
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of just like simple but kind of nice. Um, yeah. What else? We're on to now. We're meeting Maud, right? We met Maud.
Yeah, we've met
We're
Maud
meeting
and
Maud. She swings through the air naked, and she's very seductive and eerie and interesting.
a bit of a lunatic as well. But you know, I suppose that comes with being daughter of the
Yeah,
Big Lebowski. She keeps saying the word vaginal and vagina over and over again.
she's very
Do
interested
you
in that.
find the female form intimidating? Vagina.
No, man. So she's like going, all right, you get the money back from Bunny and I'll give you 10%. And he's like getting deep into the weeds now.
Yeah, things are getting complicated.
Yeah. And you know, in Maud's studio, I read this today, I didn't actually cop it. There's a painting of scissors on red background, and that's mirrored later on when the nihilists are in his
the nihilists
dream.
are coming at him with scissors.
Yeah. So that's sort of
Such a
something
great
that,
scene later on. Yeah.
because that's his big whacked out dream montage later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So oh yeah, so she's coming back. He's coming back from there with with the white Russian in his hand, and he gets out of one car and gets bundled into the next car. It's never ending.
And meanwhile, there's a VW
Oh yeah,
Beetle following. He's looking at that. And he's like, huh? Then he gets bundled. He's like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's another little.
Three cars involved with Lebowski at this
Yeah.
point.
As I watch the beverage.
He
So
doesn't
it's
spill a drop.
no. And so it's Hoffman and the Big Lebowski in there, and so they're going, "Where's the money?" And he slips up and goes, "Well, we," and they go, "We." He goes, "The royal we."
Of course, yeah. There's a lot
Yeah,
of ins and
yeah.
outs, and there's a lot of.
Yeah, he's just constantly. I watched the trailer today for it, and that entire bit where he's stumbling over everything is nearly half of the trailer. And it's like, this is a bad trailer because it doesn't have any context. It doesn't really show a lot of stuff in it. Anyway, I thought it was a terrible trailer. Anyway, he's like going, listen, you ever thought, man, that she's kidnapped herself, man? So,
Two lads are like, yeah, well, maybe not. And they hand them a parcel with a carefully wrapped and correctly coloured toe.
Bunny's toe. So Big Lebowski's got going, anytime I get any more of these, I'll do it tenfold upon you. So then
Yeah.
so it skips to the diner with Walter then, basically.
So he was in a good mood because he thought, well, if Maud thinks it's not real, then it's obviously not real. 30 seconds later, here's her toe. Might be real.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's in the diner with Walter, and obviously Walter just goes nuts again. And so, actually, in the scene, you see the blue beetle in the background going past the window as well.
Completely missed that.
Yeah, it's there. It's one of those Coen things. Yeah, so Walter goes nuts, and he's like, "I'm gonna stay here and drink my coffee." Yeah, and he's like, "I'm out of here." And he puts down money to pay. And
yeah,
joint,
it's like 20 cents.
Yeah, and like a joint comes out as well, and he picks it up as well. I don't know if you saw.
Well, obviously, you're not going to leave that behind.
No. So it cuts down where he's lying in a bath with whale songs playing.
Yeah.
And then these nihilists come in and led by Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Just before they turn up, his phone goes and he doesn't pick it up, obviously, and it goes to voicemail, and he hears the cops going, "We found your car, Mr. Lebowski."
Oh yeah.
30 seconds, 10 seconds later, the nihilists.
Yeah. What's a marmot?
Yeah, is it a marmot?
No, it's not. I looked up a marmot today. It looks very.
It's a weasel.
It's a ferret. I thought it was a ferret.
Sorry, but not a marmot.
Or a mink, the ones that they make the fur coats out of. But I think it definitely is a ferret. A marmot I looked up today, it looks a bit more groundhoggy or capybara type-esque. So I was like, I knew that wasn't a marmot.
Yeah.
I love the way that one of the nihilists turns the light off in the bathroom on the way out.
It's just an asshole move. Really.
Yeah, because they're nihilists, just do everything contrary to whatever.
Just assholes, because it makes them feel good.
Yeah. I love the way when he's at the car, he's getting his car back from the policeman, and he's going, the money's not in it, huh? And what are you gonna? The cops. He says something to the cops, and the cop goes, "Yeah, we're working in double shift. We're working in shifts back in the HQ.
We just put the fourth detective on it this morning."
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like a bloody Curb Your Enthusiasm moment where like they're just being assholes for no reason, and Larry is the one that's in the right, So the dude was like just asking,
He's got his Credence tapes though. So that was
he's got his Credence tapes back. Yeah. So back at the bowling alley, it's the first. Yeah, he pretty much says, "A fuck the tournament" to Walter, and like that gets Walter's attention at some point. But it's the first meeting of the narrator.
Yeah. But what I like in this scene as well is Walter's giving out stink about fucking Nazis, and he's like, "No, man, they're not Nazis. They're nihilists."
Right. Yeah.
He thinks about it for a second. Goes, "Well, at least if they were Nazis, they would have an ethos at least." Okay. Walter's just amazing. But yes, the narrator turns up.
Sarsaparilla,
perfect cowboy sort of thing.
Yeah. So yes, "Hey, dude, how's it going, dude?"
Yeah, and the dude's kind of like confused by his turning up almost. So it is
Yeah,
an
he's
unusual conversation.
it is quite unusual. It's not like negative or anything, but it's sort of like it takes them little bit by surprise, and obviously, so this is when the what did they call it in the cast? The narrator, what is it? The what?
The stranger.
Stranger. So he's like going, well, sometimes the bear eats you, sometimes
Sometimes
you eat the
sometimes you eat the
bear.
bear, sometimes the bear eats you.
Yeah. So
Or
it
it
sounds like
comes
he's
across as
saying
bar.
bar. Yeah, it sounds like bar, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate actually. And but it's
Especially when it's a
bear
bar.
in a
Yeah.
southern drawl. Now, there's some people on the internet that say this also reflects the bar in the Jungian diagram of your brain. So there's one side that's conscious, one side is unconscious, and it's separated by the bar. And so something that people have
I think that
nabbed
might be
onto.
going a little bit too deep.
Well, it's out there. I don't like it. I
I
like
don't like it either. I think
no.
it's too much.
I like the
For
fact that
one.
it's because he's southern and it's the enunciation of it. But I also like the fact that it's bar as well, because I think sometimes the bar, you know, does eat you.
Well, yeah, after 20 pints or 40
Yeah,
whiskeys, yeah.
yeah,
Or sorry, Caucasians.
yeah. So he gets a call from Maud, and he heads over there, and Maud's giggling friend is the basic running theme of this one. He's just so annoying in
Incredibly so.
Maud's studio. Picks up the Autobahn LP, which is it's got the Nihilists
It's
on
very,
it.
very Kraftwerk.
Yeah, and obviously, and Maud is sort of pressuring the dude to go to the doctor because of his jaw, which has a bit of
A tiny bruise, but she insists on him going to the doctor.
yes, she she
bruise.
wants to get him
wants something.
checked up. Drop your trousers, Mr. Lebowski.
Yeah, it's my jaw. Yeah, drop your trousers.
Yeah. On the way back,
shorts. He's wearing shorts because he's the.
Oh yeah, of course, because he's the dude. On the way back, he finds a letter from one Larry, little 15-year-old Larry, a letter from his teacher calling him dumb or whatever with his corrected homework.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he's like,
Yeah, so they go to the landlord dance. Very Napoleon Dynamite scene. And he's like, oh yeah, I found out where this Larry guy lives. He's Arthur Digby Sellers' son. So
yes, Larry.
See what happens, Larry.
Fuck people in the ass.
That was a very famous scene where the son Larry is just like the Larry guy. They talk to him, and they're grilling him, and he's holding up the letter.
And he doesn't give it.
Is this your homework, Larry? Is this your homework, Larry?
No flinch, no nothing.
Like, nothing. He's pretty
nothing.
Like he's on the spectrum. He's on the spectrum somewhere. And then halfway through the grilling of him, Walter, of course, has to go. You ever hear of Nam, Larry?
Beautiful.
Yeah. So obviously that's the famous scene where he goes out and just smashes up the car. See what happens? You fuck somebody in the ass, Larry.
Yeah, of course. It's not.
It's the neighbor's
car.
And he really backs down. He's really scared then when the neighbor comes out. He's like, oh, Walter is very cowed by that interaction.
He is.
I thought he might just hit him in the face or get the hell out of my face.
I think at this point he doesn't really know what to do because he's absolutely in the wrong. And he's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
But anyway, it is kind of out of character because his usual reaction to anything is just shoot it or whack it over the head.
Yeah, he's a bit of a reactionary Walter, and he's a live wire and a TNT ready to go off at any second, as we've seen in the entire
there is a scene later on though where it gives a little bit more depth to his character, very very near the end. But we can talk about that when we hit it.
Yeah, we're getting there, everybody. We're getting there. This will be obviously the longest episode because it's a movie we don't want to skip over anything. So then this Jackie Treehorn character comes in, and actually no. First of all, the dude goes home and the door he nails a plank of wood on the ground.
Absolute gobshite.
Sticks a chair under the door. The minute he does it, the door opens the other way.
Yeah, and in walks the two Treehorn goons.
Yeah.
The Chinaman.
The Chinaman. Come with us. Has a chat with Jackie Treehorn, obviously.
Mhm.
Where's Bunny? It's all very mixed up.
There's a lot of ins and outs, he says again.
Yeah, it's all very mixed up. He wants to find out the phone call from who Jackie Treehorn took because he wrote something on a notepad. He runs over and does the old sketchy.
Yeah, rub it with pencil rubbing.
Yeah, pencil rubbing.
Todger on a man. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
It's just like, what the hell? It's like any other movie and there'd be a clue with a phone number, but no.
No, it's beautiful. It really is beautiful.
It's so good.
It really just takes the normal film noir where the detective's got his evidence now. No, it's a penis.
I can just imagine the Coen Brothers just going through the big sleep and going, let's just really take this out.
We'll take out the evidence and stick in the penis.
Exactly. All right, so Jackie laced his drink just because he's why did he lace his drink?
I think because he wants to get him to talk, and if he thinks if he gets him off his head, he'll spill the beans, which he doesn't because he has no beans.
No, he's got nothing. So then there's the massive dreamscape, and the bowling one, and
This is the scene in the movie for me anyway, where I just fall in love with this movie because this scene is just out there.
Yeah,
and the scene defines like the Saddam Hussein bit behind the counter in the bowling alley.
Yeah,
defines the time, but that also defines where he is. He's dressed like a TV repairman because he's at a porn place. And then everything's about bowling. And there's Maud.
Yeah, Maud is
he's a thing for Maud at this point.
Yeah, Maud's like as a Valkyrie or something.
Valkyrie, yeah. And then the choice of song. What is the song name now? Oh, god damn it! I just dropped in by Kenny Rogers.
Oh yeah. Great song.
Perfect. And I don't like Kenny Rogers, but this is a great song, and it suits the dude to perfection.
I just dropped in to see what condition my condition is in.
Yeah, just amazing.
So, it's a great sequence, and going down the and it's just his smile, his freaked out smile, his high
eyes
smile,
mad wide, and a fixed smile as he goes upside down a bowling alley, looking up skirts. Amazing.
And it finishes off,
and then it gets a bit freaky when the nihilists turn up, all in full body red suits
with scissors,
with massive man-sized scissors, chasing him. He's like,
yeah. So then he's chasing them, and he's chasing police in real life, and he's in the police office the next day, and he's like going, they're treating objects like women, man. I was like, what the hell? Throws the coffee cup on his forehead.
The coffee right in the forehead is just...
He's like, get the hell out of Malibu.
Hate the fucking Eagles, man.
And it's just constantly the next scene. I hate the Eagles, man. He gets turfed out of the taxi. And then Bunny drives past in his car. And she's got all the toes. Yeah.
All of her toes. I counted them.
Yeah. And then it's scene after scene. He gets home and Maud is there, takes off her robe.
Me.
But it falls on the floor and he goes, that's my robe. It's just that observation was just ridiculously askew. Yeah, it's just... So yeah, he has a bit of an exposition then in bed with Maud the next day, telling him what he did. Yeah, as you said earlier, he's roadie for Metallica, and she's saying, Big Lebowski, he's got no money, basically,
And after their coitus, she's lying in bed with her legs up in the air and hugging them up to her chest.
Yeah,
and looks at him and goes, what are you doing?
Increase his chance of conception.
And he's like, White Russian.
Yeah.
Sorry,
White Russian double take. Yeah, spit take.
Yeah. But then she informs him, like, no, don't worry about it. It's I chose you because you've no inclination of being there for the kids. So that's what I want. And he's like, oh, cool. Yeah.
So then, like, this is the scene where he's like, he puts a lot of stuff together. He's like, Walter, get the hell over here. It's Sabbath. It's Shabbos. Get over here.
Sabbath. Only an emergency. This is an emergency, dude. Sabbath.
Yeah. But of course, before he leaves there, he has to meet up with the Beetle Man. So he's a private detective, and Bonnie is not Bonnie. She's a Canuchin or something from.
Canuchin, yeah. He was
Yeah,
hired by the Canuchins of,
yeah.
I can't remember, some place, a town right across the road from Fargo, apparently.
Yes, exactly. I saw that same video today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they what do? They go.
They drive up to the Big Lebowski's place to confront him with the new information that they have. Because they know, well, Lebowski
Yes.
knows for a fact he had never any money in the suitcase. So when Walter chucked out his fake suitcase, he was replacing it for another fake suitcase.
Right.
So
Oh,
he knows it's
there's
all
another
rubbish.
there's another
Sorry, yes.
sorry, there's another scene where the Autobahn are in a pancake shop and it pans down to the girl and she's missing her toe, so that's where the toe came from. Just to cap
Fill
that
in
one
that,
off.
yeah. Important piece of information.
Yeah. So this is sort of the crescendo of the sort of plot where they're confronting the Big Lebowski.
And it is an impressive piece of detective work by Mr. Lebowski. You know, he wasn't really thinking about it at the time. It's someone in the back of his head was processing, and then Maud gives him that extra piece of information that, by the way, he's broke ass. Mr. Big Lebowski has no money, so he wouldn't have had any money to pay for it himself. He embezzled the money.
Yeah. Yes.
And all the money actually comes from Maud's mum.
That's true. Yeah. It's a better reveal than the Scooby-Doo moment in Wild Canaries.
Oh, dear God.
Sorry, I had to sully this review by mentioning that.
Ruined my night.
Yeah. So, but I love the part where at some point he's like going, I don't know what he says, Big Lebowski, but he says something like, just a bunch of deadbeats. And the dude goes, well, yeah. It's just his reaction. Oh, and of course we can't hark back to Sorry, I have to go back to where Jesus was saying something really bad to him. That's where the famous line. Well, that's like your opinion, man. That's way back then.
Just like your opinion, man. Yeah.
So I had to mention that. That was way back. Sorry, but I just remembered it. I didn't even make notice of it, but I knew I thought I would remember it. Yeah, anyway, so Walter tries to cripple check him. He's like, yeah, I've seen this before. He's just faking it. This guy
can work, man.
Yeah, and so, and of course he calls him a fucking paraquat.
Which I googled because I had no idea what a paraquat was.
Yeah,
and apparently it's a weed killer.
Yeah,
that they use to kill marijuana.
Marijuana, yeah.
Which is, very insulting when it comes from the dude. Yeah, and this was the only line that was apparently just made up on the fly.
I think he ad-libbed it, yeah. I think he did. I think he also did the Dude Abides ad-lib.
Sorry, yes.
I believe so.
But for the vast majority of the movie, it's all on script.
Yeah.
Because why would you diverge usually from a Coen Brothers script?
I thought that... I was thinking when he says fucking paraquat that he's just dumb and he mixes up. He obviously knows about paraquat being a weed cannabis killer, and maybe he thought paraplegic as well or something. I thought, I think
it's beautiful. Actually, it is beautiful.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful piece of art.
It's a great word,
isn't it? And it suits that specific moment perfectly.
Yeah. So that's and he's lying down on the ground because Walter tipped him out of the wheelchair, and they leave hastily,
crying on the ground.
Yeah, crying like a sad old man with no money,
no legs.
Yeah. So we go back to the bowling alley then, and we see Jesus for the last time bowling, and Walter's there going, he's cracking, man. He's not really. He's just bowling perfectly.
Yeah.
And so we have this Autobahn nihilist showdown outside, and Walter bowls.
They killed my car, man.
Yeah, Walter bowls a strike straight into the chest of one of them, and
Flea gets it, man.
Flea gets it, and then they're down, whatever, and they go back, and Donnie is lying on the ground, and he's having a heart attack, and unfortunately, Donnie gets a pretty bad ending, and he's dead.
That's it. Bye, Donnie. Yeah. Unfortunately,
of course,
is very sad because he's kind of a nothing character, but he's incredibly likable for somebody who really isn't important to the plot at all.
Yeah, I have to mention something here just regarding an excellent movie I'm trying to think of what I thought about when I was watching it. It's basically an excellent movie will make every character, no matter how few lines they have, they'll make them memorable
Yeah.
and really engaging. And so this is exactly what every character in this movie is. They are memorable, they are worthwhile, they are essential, and they're key to this movie working as a whole. And so if
Well,
you think of all the
there's no fat in this movie.
no. If you think of
And
all the crap movies we've watched, how many movies have so many lines of dialogue and you still don't know or give a shit about the characters?
and that's the important bit. They're giving a shit.
Yeah.
And every character in this, you kind of care about. Right? It's important to the story, at least. But there's a lot of giving a crap because you like the people because
Yeah.
they're inherently flawed. They say real stupid stuff. Yeah, it's an amazing piece of work by the Coen Brothers to make everybody as relatable and likable compared to something like the effing Canary movie, where everybody was despicably annoying and everything they said is not what humans would say.
But you know, like these indie movies, like if we want to shit on Wild Canaries, let's shit on it
I
because
wish to shit
yeah,
on it.
just think of all those characters in that movie. Now think of giving them personalities that are as unique and individual and likable, even if they're assholes. Like Walter is an asshole, but
Yep.
he is bloody likable. Now imagine
Oh,
all those
incredible,
characters in a like you have to, as a writer, you have to plot out your characters. Like what are they? What makes them? How do they talk? Like I don't want to talk. I don't want to listen to people that are just talking in general, like we are now.
No.
Like in a movie, I want them to be individuals and characters. Now, you don't have to be as wacky and as, to either end of the spectrum like the Big Lebowski is. You can be individualistic with your characters by staying in the middle, but you can also make them memorable and with their backstories or with
Oh,
how they talk or
I
something.
think making people believable, the dialogue has to be something that maybe not what humans would say, but sound at least like humans talk. And some of these indie movies really missed the mark there.
Yeah.
The Canaries movie, every line was missed. Nothing works.
Yeah, and you can say that about any movie that we've watched. Hidalgo, a lot of basic people. Like I could stick a pin in any of the episodes we watched, and they're all blurring into one for me now. But like, it's all about character development. It's all about making memorable scenes and memorable production choices as well.
And if you don't care about the characters in the movie, well, the movie's a flop in my head.
Yeah, I think the Coen Brothers really care about creating a universe where these characters live. I think there's a lot of characters that live in their, like there's a couple of the nihilists are in the Fargo movie or something, I think.
Yeah, Peter Stormare is Peter Stormare is in. He's one of the main characters actually in the. He's nihilist number one.
Right.
He's one of the kidnappers in that movie, which is kind of a nice tie-in.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, there's two more.
Buscemi actually.
Yeah, Buscemi. Yeah. All right, there's two more scenes. They have to gather Donnie's ashes receptacle. The receptacle.
$180.
Yeah, and what he says.
I died.
Yeah, he asks.
He
asks where the nearest something is. I'm guessing it's a store or something.
Oh, I didn't write it down, but it was like a convenience store or like a 7-Eleven type thing.
So we get to like a can of whatever.
Can of
like
Folgers
baby food.
Coffee.
Folgers coffee. There you go.
Folgers.
Yeah. And so he Walter has a very soft emotional moment on top of a cliff, and then he asides into Nam.
A lot of good people died in Nam.
Yeah, and you can see the dude background going,
what the hell?
So and then the final amazing scene is when he opens the can and all the ashes just blow back into the dude's face, and he doesn't react. He just stands there going, yeah, that's about right. That's about right. What the fuck was that all about now, man?
Yeah, but in fairness, Walter gives him a big hug, and the two lads are just standing there. They've lost their best mate, even
Yeah.
though they spent the entire movie saying "Shut the fuck up, Donnie."
Yeah. He was
Donnie's
part of
gone.
it. And it's sad. It's sad to see only the two of them back in the bowling alley because obviously Walter goes, let's go bowling again. So he mirrors what he said the last time they went through a traumatic moment.
To everything. You know, if something's horrible happening, let's go bowling.
Let's go bowling. And so the stranger is at the bar again. Sometimes you just eat the bar. Then the final famous line.
To do the bites. Which I found out today also has a tie-in to Jeff's outside life. Mr. Bridges has a band called The Abiders, which was weird. I listened to some of their songs. They're not terrible, but really not my style. Kind of country style.
Ah, okay. Well, he is a sort of a laid-back dude.
Yeah, chilled country, I think is the.
GQ magazine, they do this YouTube channel where they get actors in to talk about their work. And so I saw Jeff Bridges one today, and I just listened to the Big Lebowski one, and he was just he said quite a few things. It was only 2 minutes long about the Big Lebowski section, but he was basically going. The Coen Brothers called him up, said, "Hey, we wrote a movie for you," and they're like, "Oh," he was like, "Oh, me," and then he read it, and he was like, "Going, how did you know about what I was like when I was younger?" So,
yeah,
man,
like, you know, dude, it's like your own pain.
Yeah. Other things that I just found out today, now that we're finished, the actual retelling of the story. Donnie's name is never on his bowling shirt. It's always different names.
And every shirt is completely different. It's like for a different team or for something else. So it's a nice, it's a weird thing, but once you see it, you can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it, and you never will unsee it. There's a couple of characters are based on the Coen Brothers' real life people. I think there was a guy called Jeff, the dude on their crew on one movie or something that's loosely based on him, and there's another dude. Sorry, I didn't want to be confusing. So that they placed on Donnie or Walter, and he looks exactly like him. He
is this. I'm looking at his picture right now. He's a right wing friend of theirs who's kind of gung ho, loves his guns, loves a bit of violence. He directed things, or he wrote, Apocalypse Now, Bloody Red Dawn, and Conan the Barbarian. And I think we've talked about him before.
Really?
I cannot remember why. It was definitely one of the movies we did before.
Somebody needs to be taking notes.
Yeah, you know.
Episodes. The briefcase scene, which I always found was physically sort of impossible, was reversed. So somebody threw
it in the window.
In the window as they reversed, yeah.
Because they tried 2 or 3 times before, and it kept missing the bridge.
Yeah. Mel Gibson was thought of first.
Oh, God.
For the dude. Can you imagine? Him being a stoner?
That would not be good. No. The Wind and the Lion. Sorry, I've been clicking here. The Wind and the Lion was written by Walter's alter ego.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a good tie-in.
Huge. A movie I didn't hate.
The Wind and the Lion is our most viewed episode on YouTube. So I put all our episodes on YouTube.
Out of here, man.
Yeah, it's weird. I just think some people... It's not popular. It's like the least popular things, but they have famous people in it. So I think it becomes this algorithmic treasure trove. And so people just search it up on YouTube. And I think we're probably one of the first people to review it or something.
To watch the movie.
Yeah. So like this episode will never get any hits on YouTube ever because there's so many reviews of The Big Lebowski. So like, yeah.
This doesn't get lost in the noise because this is one of the biggest cult movies of all time.
And, you know, it won't get listened to on Spotify apart from our core group of listeners because when people search it, there'll be 50 to 100 podcasts before us that have done this as well. So just to let you know that.
That's until we get an interview with Jeff Bridges or the Coen Brothers.
True. Yeah, that's in the pipelines.
Are people working on it?
Yeah. We've got 5 monkeys furiously tapping away on typewriters just to see if they actually get
it was the blast of times.
Exactly. Yeah. Ken Fox and TV Guide magazine gave it 30 out of 100 because he's a douche.
Well, we need to find Ken Fox and make him dead.
He says, if it's all supposed to be in fun, why does it feel so much like an insult?
What?
Yeah, that's what he says.
Mr. Fox, you are an idiot.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of hundreds. The Marjorie Baumgarten in the Austin Chronicle gave it 100. It's paved with delightfully irregular and unanticipated bits of business that stimulate the viewer to stay fully alert while renewing our faith in the sheer joy of watching movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
think
if I
she's
give it
right.
100. 100 is a silly score. You should never give it.
Yeah. I think I'll only
It
give
is.
yeah, it's up there. I'm only going to, yeah, so we've gone through everything in one nutshell. We don't have to go through the categories. We will review each category, obviously, but I think we've covered everything. I didn't give my scores yet because I'm very nervous about giving scores. I'm just going to do it now
I did
while
them
you.
just before, actually.
Yeah. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that, and I'll do that. Okay, I know what I'm doing. All right, plot. I'm giving 4.75.
Oh, more than I give. I give 4.
Okay.
And then, listen, that's not to mean
No, it's
the
good.
plot is terrible. The plot is excellent, and it's very smart, and the twist's very good. But I don't think the plot's as important in this movie as other parts of it.
No.
Like the acting, the dialogue. Whew.
Yeah. I was going to do it lower earlier on today, but just talking about it, I'm going, no, fuck it.
Yeah, I feel bad about writing my 4 down now.
No, that's fine.
But I'm going to stick with it.
No, you have to stick with it. All right. I'm doing it. Acting 5. I'm giving full marks. Fuck it.
Oh, get the boat. The acting is outstanding. Let's be honest. I only give 4.5
Okay.
because I don't know where I dropped it. Maybe because Tara Reid's in it.
She's actually quite good.
She is actually quite good. But,
there's nobody I don't like.
Jeff Bridges is on point here. Like, this is perfection.
Yeah.
Donnie is ably acted by Buscemi and John Goldman. Oh, Goodman. Dear God, it's really good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying it now. I should have upped it, but I'm going to stick with 4.5.
You gotta do your first. Yeah. Once you say it, it's done. Yeah. I'm giving these because I know the Big Lebowski is around my top 10 somewhere. I know it is. You know. Soundtrack, I'm giving 4. I think it's my lowest rating. I like it. Obviously, 4 is great. It's not my favorite soundtrack of all time, but the songs are great.
I give this 4.5, and it's only down to one thing, and it's the dream sequence.
Condition was
that song is just great. Perfection. And like the rest of the movie is okay, but this raises it up so strong in my mind that I have to give it as much as I can.
Yeah, I was surprised it was Kenny Rogers. Actually, I didn't really know it was him. It's strange.
Yeah, I had to Google it because I've heard the song since, but not often. And I don't go out of my way to listen to Kenny Rogers. So
you gotta know when to hold him. I bet the Stranger sings them.
I would imagine he would. He's got the voice,
and
the mustache.
I loved his mustache.
What a mustache!
Yeah. Production, I gave 4.
Gets 5 points.
Yeah, on its own. Yeah, how many points out of 5 was mustaches? 5. Production, I gave 4.5.
4.75 here.
Because we're all around the roundabout.
I think it's just on the nose. Like, it's very Coen Brothers. Straight away, it's of a time, but the colors they always choose, it's very Coen Brothers, and how they shoot the scenes, just so good. It's just lovely.
Yeah.
It's a visual delight.
It is. And aural delight as well. Aural.
You had no problem with people cracking knuckles. You had no problem with misplaced footsteps.
Absolutely nothing, because he's in slippers all the movie.
His slippers.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeff Bridges' slippers, not Jeff Lebowski's slippers.
Yeah. I think it was a movie for the age. It's a obviously it's set in 91, but it reminds me of the late 90s. It's obviously released in 98, so it's sort of just like, I remember, I think, seeing the poster or the yeah, the poster of it in like a magazine of Empire or Total Film when I used to buy those magazines every month, and it's just a memory of it, and it only gets better every time you watch it. You see all these small things, and you laugh more at the small things.
Yes, it is one of those movies, and it's a nice movie to come back to after a few years and just
Yeah,
realize how amazing it still is.
yeah. I think the last time I watched it was an airplane, and I want uh, nothing on an airplane. I want to be somewhere else rather than
Yeah,
an airplane. And
but in this case, you want the airplane to make sure that it doesn't land before the end of the movie.
yeah. So that's it. Unfortunately, we're going back to our 15,000 plus random movies picked from now, and we're going to probably get 14,000 and something. We're going to have to watch a very bad movie, but there's magic in bad movies too.
We
So
gotta have balance.
I actually want something to really shit on for the next episode, so I get back to my normal
No,
onery self.
I want more of a stick type movie.
Yeah,
Enjoyable but shit.
true. All right, I'll click the randomize button and we'll see what we get right now.
Cool.
We got 8,623.
Oh, okay, middle of the road.
Okay, so movie 8623 is a movie called Crooked House from 2020, directed by Gilles Paquet-Brenner, well, who cares who it's written by, but it has Glenn Close in it. It's got Terrence Stamp. It's got Gillian Anderson.
Okay.
It is a Agatha Christie movie.
All of these things are good words you've been saying, so I'm not worried about this one.
Yeah, so the summary is in Agatha Christie's most twisted tale of suspicious circumstances surrounding the death of a wealthy patriarch is investigated by spy turned private detective Charles Hayward, played by Max Irons, probably Jeremy Irons' son, maybe. And I'll leave it there. It's an Agatha Christie one. Gillian Anderson, I always had a crush on from X-Files.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of Terrence Stamp.
Yeah. So it's from 2017. Sorry, I think I said 2020. It runs for 1 hour and 55 minutes. It's got a Metascore of 59 and a user score of 5.8, so above average, and probably one of those movies whether you'll think it's normal or you'll think actually it's not too bad.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. Oh no, Christina Hendrick. I'm just looking at the people here. Interesting. Okay, so that's an Agatha Christie movie. Probably just will be a whodunit thing. It's actually probably good to reach into them because of Kenneth Branagh's recent, remaking of Death on the Nile and that Murder in Venice, I think, or something it's called, or Haunting in Venice.
Success.
Yeah, it's a varying success. Yeah, I actually read Murder on the Orient Express for the first time only 5 years ago or so. It's like I always wanted to know what the hell happened. Who murdered someone on the Orient Express? Did you ever read it?
Agatha Christie's not something like my mum has all the books, and if my mum's reading them, I'm probably going to go.
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's not bad. It's not even that thick of a book. You get through it in a night or two. Yeah. But it's interesting. Oh, that's what happened at the end. Yeah. Okay, so let's leave it there.
Angela Lansbury killed them.
For once, she's usually the one poking her nose around. Jessica Fletcher.
Oh, Jessica.
All right, so that's the end of episode 32 of 15K plus random movie reviews. Please check us out on any platform you see fit to review us and bump us around and share and do whatever you want to do. Okay, and we'll see you on the next episode to watch Crooked House. Bye-bye.
Cheerio.